basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around, we're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Was the summer before the real world started, and the deal was we would get to go if we cleaned it up and got it running. That is old Winnebago, and winging a prayer down a 65, 5 best friends on 4 ball tires. I can still see Billy smiling when we finally made it to Talladega. Boys raced the
Talladega Superspeedway lives up to its name. Of all the closed-circuit motorsports facilities in the world where sanctioned auto races are held, it is the fastest. Constructed by the France family 10 years after Daytona, Talladega was built slightly longer at 2.66 miles with steeper banking at 33 degrees, which guaranteed record-setting speeds. The pole speed for NASCAR's first race in 1969 was a stunning 199.466 miles per hour, almost 30 miles per hour faster than the Indy cars were then lapping at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rule changes in '87 meant that Bill Elliott's 212.809 mile per hour lap will likely stand forever as the qualifying record at Talladega and for NASCAR. Talladega is still the fastest track on the schedule. It holds the record for the fastest 500-mile stock car race at 188.35 miles per hour. Mark Martin's winning speed in May of 1997 and produces some of the most exciting door-to-door action every year. Talladega puts on 5 separate race events each year as host of the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Craftsman Truck Series, and also the ARCA Series. Tonight, it's the No Bull Racing Series. It's next on HBR TV.
sure like to stay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. Qualifying already underway, but let's take a look here at the race details coming into this evening. 80 laps the race distance, 86-degree ambient temperature, 49% humidity, partly cloudy skies, relatively breezy at 12 miles per hour, with a track temp a little warm, 131 degrees. Again, handling not paramount here at Talladega, but it may come into play here later on in the race. Guys trying to make big moves. With that, let's go trackside, see where everyone is stacking out. Chris Goins on the racetrack presently, trying to set his position here in the race tonight. Top time right now, Brian McCann of 51.95. Michael Tucker pretty close. Second quick, 52.02. Stream chat already getting busy. We've got NS Vengeance, Crystal Volano, Derek Welch, Chastity Tucker, Nikki Short. Back in action again here with Vincent running tonight. Nikki, thanks for checking in. Goins first lap, 9th quick, 52.408. Hammer down into the tri-oval. Again, start-finish here past the tri-oval. The exit, so to speak, here, very different from what Daytona is with the start-finish line right in the middle of the tri-oval. But Goins crosses that line here, goes 6th quick, 52.229. Vincent Short on his second lap here. Cross start finish. Lap 1 actually, 52.607 for Short, puts him P12. Zach Millett in the 315. Millett is crossing his fingers that he keeps power tonight. Bit of a blizzard outside his house this evening, a 52.590 for lap 1. Millett off turn number 4. Plug check at the end. Millett goes to the top. 51.921. Zach Millett on the pole. Knocks McCann out to the outside lane in row number 1. Shane Haas, first lap, 15th quick. A little more on the information tonight. Max fuel load is 100%, so that's going to help these drivers go a little further on a load of fuel. 2 sets of tires over the wall. 3 green-white checkers if necessary as Haas finishes up 52.139, puts him into the top 10, 7th quick. Mark Truxell, Ken Couch still needing to take times. They may just opt to start out at the back. We'll see if that continues to be the case. But with that, we've got a few minutes left in the session officially, though. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way, and we'll be back after this.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Gonna try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead in the win here at Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's gonna win through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's going to win this. He does. Vincent Short wins.
Just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Talladega Superspeedway, let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 51.921 seconds. It's that S4 guy, Zach Millen. Outside front row, Brian McCann missed it by 31 thousandths. Start to the right elbow of the 315. Row number 2, it's Michael Tucker and Derek Welch. Row 3, Neil Quick and Vincent Short. Row 4, Shane Haas, Alfie Charon Jr. Row 5, it's going to be Brandon Mefford and Chris Goins. Starting in the 11th position, Joe Tucker and Eddie Rose. 13th starter, it's Matt Sisler. Drew Prale will start 14th. Chris Elliott from Right Turn Racing, he'll start 15th. Ken Couch, the 08, he rolls off 16th, with Mark Truxell in the 5, starting last but not least. It's your starting grid from Talladega Superspeedway on our first and only pace lap. We'll be racing the next time by. Looks like we might have an issue. Chris Goins in the pit lane has yet to grid up. Again, many drivers battling weather-related issues here all over the country between high winds, blizzards, power outages, and the like. Chris Goins may have succumbed to that, unfortunately. Jesse Redding also not here tonight as he is without power. So short field looks like going to be 16 cars going to take the green flag here. Pace car about to pull down. Again, got a ways to go here. Got to get through this tri-oval at the end of pit lane, basically pit exit. It's where they station the start-finish line.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag waves, and it's in the air, and we're off and running from Talladega Superspeedway. Chris Goins has gotten into the session, albeit he's going to be at least a lap down here when he gets out and joins the field. We'll see if he pulls away from pit lane or not. Nevertheless, lap one just about complete. Field entering the tri-oval. Zach Millett with a race lead. Brian McCann edging out just a bit. In behind, Derek Welch coming in as a field filler, but he's going to be fast. He runs very well in these super speedways. Doesn't matter what car he's in. In behind Brian McCann, going to push him down the back straightaway. Brandon Mefford is closing the gap between himself and the one on the outside as well. Brandon Mefford, the white and gray, the number 83 there, tucks in behind Derek Welch. Now there's a 3-car draft to the outside. Same story at the bottom, with Neil Quick to the inside of Brandon Mefford. Now off turn number 4. He's going to stay tucked in somewhat behind Vincent Short. Car length off the back bumper, the outside line, albeit with 3 cars, still not able to pull up. Chris Goins confirming weather-related issues. Had a very brief power outage just before we got to grid up, so he was unable to get in here quickly. It looks like he is not in the session, unfortunately, for Chris Goins. He's going to be credited with 17th place points. Millett still out in front. Michael Tucker in the second spot alongside with Brian McCann. Drivers all content running the bottom of the racetrack for the time being. McCann edges out in front here again with drafting help from Neil Quick. Bottom line, it's Millett, Michael Tucker, Vince Short, Alfie Cherin Jr. coming into the picture. Neil Quick dropping on the line, though. I think he doesn't like what he's seeing this early on in the race. He's going to drop back to the end of the field here. Again, it's a strategy move by the two, I would believe. Quick on the outside, letting the field just power on by on the low side. Mark Truxell coming through as well. Don't worry too much about the 5 just yet. He's not going to hit the hammer that soon in this race here. 5 laps in, Truxell's going to take care of his stuff. He should be around here for the finish in contention. Truxell in the Little Taints Cupcakes Chevrolet. Eight cars battling for the top positions here at Talladega Superspeedway. Real loose up the top side. You don't see that very often. Alfie Cherin slid up the racetrack, had to catch the car. It was real loose in the middle of the corner. Maintaining the top spot for the time being. Outside line rather disorganized. You still got Brian McCann and Derek Welch lined up 1-2 on the outside. Alfie Cherin now with some help from Brandon Mefford is pushing him back up to the back bumper of Derek Welch. Now to the lead, Brian McCann down the back straightaway. Got some more help, more organization on the outside. Does he stay up top or does he drop down in front of Zach Millett? For now, McCann stays up top side with Derek Welch in behind. Michael Tucker pushing Millett. That's going to help him regain that top spot. At the stripe, Millett still with the race lead, and Chris Goins has gotten back to the racetrack. Gotta admire his spirit. He's going to be multiple laps down here, and he's likely to get caught by the field once again as he exits pit lane. Back to the racetrack, still coming up to speed, but he's got a whole lap he's going to have to throw down here to get up to full song, and he's doing it without any assistance from the draft. So the field's likely to circle back around unless we get an early caution here. Jones may lose yet another lap. He's 7 down now. Drivers getting a little antsy here, a little more aggressive. One thing that you do tend to see here at places like Daytona and Talladega, guys typically will kind of feel things out for the first, maybe even the first half of the race. Take care of their stuff, not get too aggressive, not become a problem, not be caught up in a problem. But now, somewhat short field here today. 17 cars taking the green flag. You've got a little more room to work with out there, so the drivers may be more inclined to be more aggressive early on. See if that becomes the case as Alfichera. We've seen him a couple of times. A little bit of a wiggle there on corner exit. A couple of laps ago, he was pretty sideways just in the middle of the corner. You don't typically see that at places like this, but it happened. Sun starting to hide behind some cloud cover here at Talladega Superspeedway. May change things up here track temperature-wise. Has come down slightly. It was 131 degrees during qualifying, now 127 degree track temp. Sharon looking to the outside of Derek Welch. We're 3 wide here down the back straightaway. Millet with a nose out in front really hasn't had more than half a car length lead at any point so far in this race. Going to see more of the same here, I think, for the next 68 laps. To jinx anything, but this race is playing out like we're not going to have a single caution. I know that it's kind of crazy to say that in a place like Talladega. Yes, I've already knocked on wood just to be safe, but man, guys look pretty good out there. They've pushed the envelope a bit, become a little bit aggressive, but not crazy. 13 laps in here from Talladega. Again, the fuel window, if you're out front, we're thinking 38 to 42 laps typically, but if you're stuck in the draft there, you've got the ability to lift off the throttle a bit, take care of your stuff, take care of the fuel. You might be able to go 44, 46 laps. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Right now, though, Millet and McCann, they're punching the hole in the air for everybody else behind them, so they're using the most amount of fuel. With that said, I can't imagine anybody's going to have any issues getting to our stage break, which comes at the completion of lap 25. Derek Welch slots down in front of Zach Millett, so now Welch going for the race lead. Had a run, had some space to pull down to the low side, and he does just that. So Derek Welch, your new race leader here off turn number 4. Zach Millett, the driver's eye cam, tucked in behind race leader Derek Welch. Bit of a push down the backstretch. You saw the backside of that race car come off the ground just slightly. Chris M. Sim Racing says Gen 4 or ARCA. We're running Gen 4 here in the Noble Racing Series. Millett switches lanes, goes topside, trying to make a move to the outside for the race lead again. He's in front of Brian McCann. See if he's got enough of a run, enough help to get past the 1. This might be a good opportunity for Millett to try and see if that outside lane can be productive. Through the tri-oval. Both lanes well organized. Millett back to the point, but not by a lot. Hasn't been able to get clear and drop back down to the inside. Now Welch inches back out in front. Michael Tucker doing a great job pushing the 1. Tucker's been known to be very aggressive, hopefully not too much so early on as we get a little bit closer here to the stage break again. That coming into completion of lap 25. Won't change. Back and forth, the seesaw up front. Real quick, making a move to the outside, trying to get some help maybe in the outside to go 3 wide. Chris Elliott, no. Brandon Mefford, though, jumps up to the outside. We'll see if Brian McCann joins the group. He stays tucked in behind Zach Millett, so it looks like it's going to be Quick and Mefford for the time being. Chris Elliott there to the outside. He's there as well. We'll see if he's going to jump in. One driver in the fence, though. It's the 29 of Chris Elliott as Drew Crail went to the outside to get in line with these drivers on that ultra top side. Chris Elliott, though, getting a piece of the fence. Hopefully Chris is in decent shape here. Can't really see much from this angle. How much damage he's got on that car, but he's gonna have to work to get back into the draft here. He better do it quick or he's gonna be in trouble. Chris Elliott tucking in behind Eddie Rose. Eddie's a little bit back from the rest of the pack as well. See if Chris can reel these guys back in. There's still enough draft. He's not too far back. He might be okay here. See way up ahead, that small dot In the distance, that's going to be Chris Goins. As we talked, he's going to get caught by this pack that's all in the draft. Drops it way down to the apron, gets out of the way. Chris Elliott back in the draft, picks up Matt Sisler. Sisler in that Celsius Kia Stinger, as per the norm. Meanwhile, out front, things have changed and changed quite a bit. Brandon Mefford out in front. Millett still second. Now he's got to run from Brian McCann, and down to the bottom of the racetrack. Derek Welch goes below that yellow line for the race lead. You can't pass down there. Got to tuck back in. Welch does so. I don't know if he got loose and had to save the car, but nevertheless, got to stay above the yellow line if you're going to pass for position. So things have changed again. Now it's Millett and McCann back out in front. Kind of more of the same in that regard. Mefford third, Welch fourth. Quick in fifth, but moving towards the front. McCann pulls out in front of the 83 of Mefford, looking to get some drafting help. Welch tucks in behind Zach Millett. On board with Vincent Short, just outside the top five. Out front on the low lane, you've got Zach Millett, Derek Welch, Vincent Short, Joe Tucker, and Alfie Sharon. The five cars on the bottom side. Outside line, it's going to be Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Michael Tucker, Neil Quick, and Mark Truxell coming into the mix as well. Shane Haas just this past lap running the fastest lap of the day at a 48.18. Shane Haas in the Talladega Nights Me paint scheme / Kurt Busch throwback paint scheme. You can see why Haas was able to run such a great lap. He's in a good position there behind this big pack of cars. Can time it just perfect, you're going to get a whale of a run. Up front, things still hot and heavy. Zach Millett, Brian McCann going back and forth. Mike Tucker seemingly thinking about making it three wide. No one to go with him. He stays tucked in behind Neil Quick. Not for long, though. Tucker taking a peek once again. Gonna need some help. Will Drew Prale and Shane Haas go with him? Nope. Tucker goes back down to the inside. Some movement here at the front of the field. I don't know, Brandon Mefford just trying to push McCann a little too hard. He got him off and out of line. A little upset the car, and the caution comes out here as we come to finish the stage. So Derek Welch may have won it. Again, Welch not running the full season, but coming in here as a one-off. So it's Welch, Brian McCann, Vincent Short, Millett, Tucker, Joe Tucker, that is, Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Michael Tucker 8th, 9th was Drew Prale, 10th Alfie Sharon. So your unofficial stage results. imagine we'll see everybody up and down pit road this time. Got to pick up the pace car. Now, as we said, 38 to 42 laps under the green flag. That's going to be your fuel window, at least for the leaders. A little bit better for those in the draft. But with all that said, we're going to get the restart. And it should put us... I'd say with about 50 or so laps to go, which is going to force a late pit stop if we run green all the way to the end for just about everybody. Got to admit, Derek Welch with the Jack Daniels Sinatra Edition paint scheme. Depth Graphics doing a great job painting that one up. So in pit lane, drivers, all they come. Welch, Short, McCann, Millett, Tucker, Mefford, Quick, Tucker, Charon, Pearl, Sisler, Haas, Couch, Elliott, Truxell, Rose, and so on. Welch in the pits. He's going to take some tires here. Again, some of these tracks, as Michael Tucker overshoots the pit box, has to back it up. That's going to cost him some time. Luckily, we're under caution. Welch drops the jack. He's down and away. See if we can pull Derek Welch into the booth here and get a word with our stage winner. Derek Welch, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Derek, congratulations. First of all, thanks for jumping in here and helping fill out the field tonight, but you walk away with a stage win, man. Tell us about that first 25 laps of this one.
Well, only comfortable place I like is in front of these fields. I don't like being in the back or the middle, so a little bit more concentration than I wanted to do on a Sunday night, but I'm here and I'm here to try to win it, but I'm also here to help out the HBR boys too.
Oh, good to see it, man. Again, congratulations on the stage win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
Derek Welch, your stage winner. Again, jumping in here to help us out here at Noble Racing and the HBR TV. Also going to help HBR drivers if the time presents itself. But first and foremost, he wants to win this thing. So it looks like our top five when we go back to green is going to be Derek Welch, Vincent Short. Short picking up a spot in the pits. Millett third, Mike Tucker fourth. He picked up a few as well. Joe Tucker going to start fifth. Further on back, Alfie Charon, Matt Sisler, Joe Tucker, Chris Elliott, Mark Truxell. So with that, we're going to step aside, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back with a restart after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Which signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Back at Talladega Superspeedway, pace car about to make the hard left down pit road. Our first caution for the stage break, and the stage break alone. Derek Welch leading the field down into the Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
Green flag is in the air. We're off and running once again for the final stage. Field slowly coming up to speed. Again, these restricted engines, it takes some time, plus the added wicker bill on the roof line of the race car, plus a bit of a lip on the rear spoiler, certainly creates that much more drag, which is great for creating big runs in the draft, but not so great for trying to accelerate from pace car speed. Even into turn number 3, they're still not up to full song. 183, 184, 185 miles an hour and still climbing through turns 3 and 4. Top 5 is Welch, Vincent Short, Millett, Michael Tucker, and Alfie Sharon. Brian McCann made an extra pit stop during the caution. He restarted from the tail of the field, and he's already up into 8th. So often we hear people talk about, oh, it's restrictor plate racing. It doesn't take any real skill. Tell that to Brian McCann. Restarted last. A lap and a half later, he's in the top 5. Continues to lead. He's got a real good pusher in behind him. It's Zach Millett, your top 4 there under a blanket. It's Welch, Short, Millett, Michael Tucker, Alfie Sharon, Brian McCann, the top 6. Matt Sisler into the fray as well as Shane Haas. That's your top 8, I guess you could call it. Well, let's skip the top 10. He's got Drew Prahl and Brandon Mefford there as well. Mefford slips out to make the move on the outside. Neil Quick goes with him. Chris Elliott thinking about trying to join that small pack as well, making a trio on the outside line. Way up the racetrack, Mefford loose on entry. Maybe a late push from Neil Quick. Opts to jump back down in the middle line. Chris Goins still back in the 17th spot, 6 laps down. I guess through the caution, did get at least one of those laps back. Still a ways back from the field, though, out of the draft again. So unfortunately, unless we get another caution, he's going to be in danger of losing another lap later on. Bad night going to worse for Chris Goins. Joe Tucker in the back of the field just putting down the fastest lap of the race himself, a 47.96. That is moving here at Talladega Superspeedway. His top speed that last lap was 210 miles an hour. Don't look now, though, but Chris Elliott just ran his fast lap, but he was 212 miles an hour in the speed trap. Drew Prahl dropping down to the inside. He's going to go to the back intentionally here. I think he doesn't like what he's seeing. Welch and Millett still trading the top spot. Millett has opted to not push the one, now switches to the high side. He's in front of the 15 of Vincent Short. Now the inside line, it's going to be Welch, Alfie Sharon, Matt Sisler. Outside, it's Millett, Short, Michael Tucker. And Brian McCann still there in the 5th position. Mark Truxell working his way up there as well. He's 8th. Welch to the point again, but once again, still unable to get clear. Side-by-side action, both lanes, all the way back to about the 10th position. Brandon Mefford now to the outside again. Neil Quick, car length off the back bumper, trying to go 3 wide, trying to form some kind of a run to the top side. I'm sure if they had more help, they could get it done, but no one seems to want to venture that high on the racetrack, at least not at this point in the race. We're still shy by about 5 laps of halfway. Tucker slips up the racetrack just a little bit. Still Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, all the way up the top side of the racetrack. Brian McCann slips in. Now we got a 5-car draft on the outside. The middle lane's going to die here with just 3 cars. The outside line can get organized. Chris Elliott can pull up behind Shane Haas, but he chooses not to, I believe. Still a 4-car draft way up top, still beating that middle line. 3 wide for the top 6 positions here at Talladega Superspeedway. Millett still leads. He's in the middle with Vincent Short and Michael Tucker in behind. Millett drops down to the inside in front of Derek Welch, knowing that Welch is quick on these racetracks. Got to keep the one behind you the best that you can. Millett and Sharon drop out of the line here. They're going to go to the back intentionally, I believe. Millett just having a feeling. It's the way it goes sometimes. You just kind of have that feeling like something's about to go down. And you make the decision to go to the back, try to stay out of it, give you a better opportunity where things are a little bit calmer. As I said earlier, we're still not quite halfway, so there's plenty of time to make up those positions later on. And it typically, if you plan your moves correctly, doesn't take all that long, as we saw by Brian McCann. Starting at the rear of the field on his restart, it took him a lap before he was into the top 5. Sisler's going to drop out low side. He's going to go to the back as well. Driver still abandoning the top side. They get back to the low end. Now it's Joe Tucker out in front over Drew Prowl. Michael Tucker 3rd, Shane Haas 4th, Vincent Short in 5th. Very much changing the complexion of the top 10 here at Talladega. Coming to lap 39. Tucker continues to lead Drew Prowl right in behind. Drew seems to be a bit aggressive in behind. Allison Rose in the stream chat. Go Big Tucker. Drew Prowl pushing for all he's got. Field working off turn number 4. Joe Tucker, Drew Prowl, Mike Tucker, Shane Haas, Vincent Short, still your top 5. Coming across the stripe here, it's going to put us just past the halfway point here from Talladega Superspeedway. And that gives us the chance. We're going to step aside, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way as we continue to race. Don't worry, you won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Superspeedway, 45 laps in. Joe Tucker still with the race lead. Zach Millett running second. Drew Prowl third. Michael Tucker in the 4th spot. Millett edges out in front here for just a brief moment. See if he can complete the pass. Can drop down in front if he wants. Side by side for the race lead. Millett to the outside. Joe Tucker still maintaining it out front here in the low end of the racetrack. I think Millett dropping to the back of the pack there just a handful of laps ago was more of a test to see what can be done and how quickly it can happen. Millett went to the back, and it didn't take too long. He's back out in front here with the race lead. Michael Tucker now pushing the 315 around the 13 of Joe Tucker. Millett had a chance to drop down in front of the 13, opted to stay in front of Mike Tucker. Down the back straightaway once again. They'll drag race it. Oh, Alfie Sharon on the line almost gets the outside wall down the backstretch. That might have been an ill-timed push from Chris Elliott. They tuck back in line in front of Mark Truxell. Oh no, Michael Tucker with an engine failure. Tucker tucks in behind in the draft for just a bit too long, and his engine has given up the ghost. Mike Tucker with a mechanical failure here just past halfway, lap 48 of 80 here from Talladega Superspeedway. It's running well within the top 5. Engine still running for the time being, but Tucker likely done for the night. We stay under the green flag as no fluids have been put down by the 39. So Michael Tucker, again, he stayed in line just a bit too long is going to be my guesstimate as to what happened here. Couldn't get enough air to the radiator, couldn't cool the engine down. So unfortunately for Michael Tucker, his night may be done. Back out front, though, another Tucker, Joe Tucker, still with the race lead, battling with Zach Millett. That hasn't changed much, but row 2, it's Drew Prale and Matt Sisler. Shane Haas, Alfie Charon in the mix as well. So Millett finally gets around the 13, gets clear, stays to the bottom of the racetrack now. Outside lane, it's going to be Matt Sisler and Alfie Charon all by themselves. Will Mark Truxell come up into the mix and give these guys some drafting assistance? It's closing in on the 9 down the back straightaway. You've also got Chris Elliott, and I think Chris Goins has caught the back of the 29, so he is out here again just turning laps, trying to pick up positions as he can. With Michael Tucker out of this race, he will pick up at least one position. Looks like Michael Tucker has gotten enough repairs made that he's back out in this. Maybe not an engine failure, but some kind of mechanical issue. He's back out in it, albeit a lap down or more. 2, that is. Back in the 16th spot, but he's only running about 170 miles an hour, and the engine does not sound healthy. Running about 6,300 RPM, 6,500 RPM, and climbing. Still don't know if this motor is going to make it the whole way. Still, it's Millett and Sisler, the top 2. Joe Tucker in behind the 315. Alfie Charon taking a look to the outside, but no help. Mark Truxell may have gone with him, but Alfie made the decision to tuck back in before he noticed that. Chris Elliott and Chris Goins still further back in the outside line. If they tuck up behind the 5 of Mark Truxell, they can make something happen. And first round of green flag pit stops underway. Half the field peeling off. Millett, Tucker, Vincent Short, and others. Derek Welch, Ken Couch, Chris Elliott. slides to a stop in his pit box. Fuel only for the 315. Looks like that's the recipe for just about everybody up and down pit road. Well, Millet's still in the pits, though. Did he get a penalty? Zach Millet still in pit lane as the clock continues to run. May have got a too fast entering pit penalty for the 315. Was having a strong run at a place that, well, let's just be honest, Millet, not a big fan of super speedways, was having a good night. Unfortunately, it has gone south very quickly. We'll see what kind of time he gets. It's usually a 40-second penalty, so 40 seconds on top of the pit stop itself. And he's down and away. Would have been a quick stop, 6.15 seconds as far as the pit work is concerned, adding in a 40-second penalty. Tough break for Zach Millet. Back out front, though, Alfie Charon takes over the top spot over Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Mark Truxell. Have to expect these guys to hit pit road pretty soon as well, as Drew Prail, Shane Haas, and Eddie Rose have done the same. And there it is, Alfie Charon in pit lane. Chris Goins, Mark Truxell doing the same. Truxell locks him up on entry. Don't know if he's going fuel only or he's changing some tires, but he may have flat spotted the set there. Truxell's going to change tires for sure. Charon down and away, fuel only 8.4 seconds. Chris Goins, again, still in pit lane. I don't know if he got popped for speeding or if he's just calling it. Jesse Redding in the chat says, odds on a field filler winning now? Well, Derek Welch running in P6. 25 laps to go. He's a field filler. Up into the fifth spot now. Green flag pit stop certainly has shaken up this field and spread everybody out pretty considerably. We don't have that big pack of cars like we had previously. Brian McCann, though, out in front with Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, and Joe Tucker, your top four. Sorry. Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Vincent Short, your top four. Joe Tucker back in the 12th position. With that said, 10 cars on the lead lap right now. Joe Tucker being the first car one lap down. Then it's Mark Truxell, Chris Elliott, Eddie Rose, Zach Millet, Joe Tucker, 2 laps down. And Chris Goins still in pit lane. Or is he? No, maybe gone. Goins may have lost power here during that pit stop, not sure, but nevertheless, he's no longer in the session. Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, and Neil Quick working together. All 3 drivers coming over from the IROC series. Interestingly enough, Vincent Short back in the 4th position, but he's about 39 seconds behind the race leader. 23 laps to go. Top three battling for position. Joe Tucker, the fourth car in line, though not in the fourth position. He is 11th. First car one lap down. Again, this race has been very clean in the way of cautions. We've only had the one for the stage break. So I don't know if Tucker can really rely on getting that lucky dog at this point, but it is near impossible to pass the leader and then get a whole lap back, at least under green flag conditions, unless something major happens. Jesse Redding in the stream chat making a very good point. 12 people watching the stream and only 5 likes. And I'll be honest, one of them's me. Help us out, guys. If you're watching the stream here, click that like button. It helps us more than you know, helps the stream, helps the channel, helps the league. It's a good thing all across the board, and it's free. So help us out. Just click the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Still not much going on here out front. Coming to 20 laps to go. Brian McCann in command. Much battle Vincent Short and Derek Welch. These drivers still working together, trying to close some ground. Becoming more and more difficult to do. They've got a few cars here lined up. Millett's going to close into Ken Couch here to be able to hopefully help and do the same. But top 4, top 3 for that matter, they've got some help too. Joe Tucker's in the mix, and they're drafting, continuing their pace. It's very difficult to close any ground here unless you've got an advantage as far as the draft is concerned. Really, this group here, they need 4 or 5 more cars lined up single file lap after lap to try and cut into that lead that the top 3 have. However, with that said, we're running out of time here. It's 20 laps to go. They're 39, almost 40 seconds back. They would need to gain 2 seconds a lap just to be in contention to catch these guys. I just don't see it happening. For some reason, drivers trying to break the draft here. That's not going to help anybody. Couch taking a look to the inside, nowhere to go. This group gaining some more numbers, but Michael Tucker is closed back in, still shown as the 16th place race car on the track. Behind Eddie Rose and Zach Millett. Millett, of course, losing his time in pit lane with that 40-second speeding penalty. Let's look at this again here. Zach Millett making his pit stop. We'll watch from the onboard. A little too soon. We'll back it up further. Okay, this is Zach Millett coming to pit lane. Now, I know he locked it up real hard. We'll watch it one more time. Again, I got to rewind this because it doesn't give us a good point of entry. But he locked up the tires really badly here. See the smoke pouring off the right front. He's locked up hard. And with that said, I mean, typically you would think that, oh, the car's going to slow down. The tire's not even spinning. But No, you don't slow down as easily, as quickly, for that matter, if the tires are locked up. You do better off actually reducing the speed without locking up. So he also went a little wide there. I don't know if he got the speeding penalty or if an unsafe entry, but nevertheless, it cost him 40 seconds in pit lane. So Zach Millett back in the 14th position, 1 lap down, and still 3 cars ahead of him. If the caution were to come out, he still wouldn't be able to get that lucky dog. Back out front, Brian McCann, still your race leader with 16, coming to 15 laps to go, approaching some lap traffic. Brandon Mefford looking to the outside on Brian McCann, tucks back in behind as again they reel in this smaller group, this 4-car draft down the back straightaway. Reeled them in a hurry, but now I would assume these 4 cars are going to be intermixed with these leaders. They're battling between each other. So are the leaders, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, and then Joe Tucker. Again, the first car 1 lap down. No longer now Drew Prail, the first car 1 lap down. So the race leaders have lapped up to P6. Top 6 drivers on the lead lap. Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Vincent Short, Derek Welch, and Ken Couch. Through that cycle, positions have changed. Joe Tucker back into the lucky dog position. Still no cautions for cause at any point in this race at this point. 14 laps to go. Field working around the slower car right now. Eddie Rose, the bottom of the racetrack, in the HBRShops.com, number 88 Ford Mustang. So as laps continue to tick by, we're going to take one more side-by-side break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
9 laps to go from Talladega Superspeedway. Brian McCann still out in front over Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, Vincent Short, and Derek Welch. If we stay green, the race will just come down to these top 3 as Vincent Short in 4th. The next driver in line here, 42 seconds back, and we got pit stops underway. Brian McCann locking him up. Neil Quick getting the grass. That's going to cause some issues for all these drivers. If Brian McCann gets a penalty, if Neil Quick gets a penalty for an unsafe entry, it's going to mess up all 3 of these drivers as far as their way to draft back through the field. We'll see if it happens. If McCann got in slowed down enough. McCann in the pit box. Again, 9 laps to go. We expected late pit stops here. Fuel only for the 3. No penalty for Brian McCann. Brandon Mefford gets away. Neil Quick still in the pits. Quick definitely getting a penalty here, likely an unsafe entry as he had to swing it out through the grass to get to pit lane. So Brandon Mefford coming back up to speed, currently still the race leader, but for how long? 4th and 5th at speed, closing in. Takes at least a whole lap to get these cars back up to race speed. McCann's going to tuck right in behind Brandon Mefford, trying to get them sped up as best that they can, but 3rd place, Vincent Short closing in a hurry, 3.5 seconds. Now slowing quickly here, 3 seconds. Getting closer and closer as the top 2 get back up to speed. Very rare that you can make a pit stop under the green flag here and not lose a lap, but they barely lost positions. Brandon Mefford out in front of Brian McCann. They're back up to speed here with 7 laps to go. Vincent Short still closing the gap. It's down to 2 seconds. And there's a big pack here in behind him. This one's not over, folks. These top 2 drivers are not going to be able to hold off the draft of these 5 cars. Lead lap cars they are. It's Vincent Short, Derek Welch, Ken Couch. Then you've got Zach Millett. Millett, of course, back in 13th. 1 lap down, but he can still help with the draft. And in behind Zach Millett, it's the 39 of Michael Tucker. He's 2 laps down, but same story. It's a 5-car draft effectively. They're closing in now. It's 1.2 seconds and closing, coming to 6 laps to go. We got a race, folks. Less than 6 laps to go. Mark Truxell to the outside. He is 12th, 1 lap down. First car now 1 lap down, so he would be the lucky dog if the yellow were to come out. Off turn number 4, this group has all but caught the top 2 of Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann. It's a heads-up race at this point. And to the outside, a big run. Derek Welch pushing Vincent Short. Welch slips up the racetrack, though, slows that run, kills the momentum a bit for the 3 cars trying to make the move, but they still have the manpower. They still have the numbers to the outside. Short with a run, still drafting help from Derek Welch and Ken Couch. So is Millett and Michael Tucker, ganging up on these 2 IROC cars that have been so dominant, so fast all season long. Neil Quick may catch these guys and be able to fall in and help these guys. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to do it, though. He's also way up topside. He's going to have to slow, get through that middle line, and then tuck back in, draft back up with 4 laps to go. I'm sure it's possible, but it's going to be tough. Quick got freight trained in a hurry. I don't know if he's going to be able to tuck back in and catch these guys as Vincent Short goes to the race lead and he tucks down in front of Brandon Mefford. Contact. Mefford gets into the 15 and slides up the track, gets into Derek Welch. Welch slides up topside, stays out of the wall. Ken Couch tucks in behind Welch, then Michael Tucker as well. So still a 3-car pack to the outside. Vincent Short to the race lead in front of Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann. Field working turns 3 and 4. It's still Vincent Short and Derek Welch. The way this thing was looking early on, we thought there was no way these guys were going to see the front of the field. Well, here they are once again, coming to 3 laps to go. Derek Welch with a nose out in front of Vincent Short. These guys have raced against each other countless times. Derek Welch coming over from the Numb Thumbs Racing League, helping us out, fill the field here tonight. Sure, why not? Derek Welch trying to take home a checkered flag in a one-off attempt here at Talladega Superspeedway. Off turn number 2, Vincent Short with a run to the inside. Still side by side, they drag race down the back straightaway. Michael Tucker pushing the 15, Ken Couch pushing the 1. Tucker lets off just a bit, building some space between himself and the 15. Tucker, again, reminding you guys, 15th, 2 laps down. He's not going to make a move to pass here. He's just helping draft, staying in the mix. Ken Couch and Derek Welch, though, those are lead lap cars. They may be fighting for position, so this looks pretty good right now, at least for the time being, for Vincent Short with 2 laps to go. Mark Truxell's closed back in. Zach Millett staying off of the back bumper of Ken Couch for now. A car length and a half back to the 315, at least for the time being. Brandon Mefford and Brian McCann have gotten out of the throttle a bit. They've picked up Neil Quick. This may be a plan trying to come to fruition. They're a ways back, but with a lap and a half to go, they might be able to draft up to this group and have a hellacious run to the high side. It's going to be where they're going to have to go. I don't know if they can split the middle and go up the gut. They may have to make it 3 wide, and they've caught them. Final lap coming here. White flag will be in the air this time by. Keep an eye on those IROC guys. They're coming. Brandon Mefford, the head of those 3. Brian McCann in the middle. Neil Quick to the backside there. Ken Couch makes a move to the outside. He's going to try and he's going to get freight train, but no. The outside's going to be 3 wide with the IROC crew coming up behind the 08. He was on the pace and he turns down. He clips Millett, and we got a caution here on the final lap. No caution. We're going to race back to the finish line. These guys are going to wreck behind Vincent Short ahead of Michael Tucker. Derek Welch alongside Michael Tucker. I don't know why Tucker's into the Derek Welch machine. Tucker's laps down. Welch gets in behind the 39 machine. He's going to have a run here. Mark Truxell could tuck in behind Derek Welch here, could help him quite a bit, but Truxell staying up topside. Truxell in the 11th position. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Not going to happen. Michael Tucker going to push Vincent Short to the race win. Through the tri-oval for the final time. Checkered flag in the air, and Vincent Short wins at Talladega. I got to tell you, if I'm Derek Welch, I am not happy. And with every right, to be honest. Michael Tucker had no business running him that hard, being 2 laps down. Nevertheless, whether you're helping a friend out or not, that was just not okay. Derek's probably okay with it to a certain extent, just because him and Vince are buddies, but Derek Welch had this one in the bag, or at least close to it. He was taking away the opportunity to try and race Vincent Short for that win, but nevertheless, still a strong finish. Welch finishes second. Prowl was third. But very happy Vincent Short here on the front stretch, celebrating just past start finish. I don't know if Nicky Short's still watching, but he takes the checkered flag. Very happy Vincent Short. We're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Superspeedway, races in the books. Vincent Short taking the checkered flag will pull the driver of the number 15 into the HBR TV broadcast booth. Vince, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
I got you, buddy.
Vince, congratulations, man. A stellar win coming in here at Talladega Superspeedway, a track that we know you're very good at, superspeedways alike. Walk us through that race, man, and how you held off at the finish line with Derek Welch.
I think the biggest thing was staying in our pack and not trying to deviate or trying to outrun each other. We knew that the McCanns and Mefford and Neal were going to try to save fuel as much as possible early on and try to stretch that lead out so that they could make that gap up. But luckily for us, our group stayed a little bigger when we went back out from the pits. Unfortunately, Zach caught speeding going into the pits, so it kind of screwed him. But I mean, I want to thank Derek and Michael Tuckler for the help, getting me up there and helping and everything. Well, if I'm going to get one, I wanted to get one at a track I'm strong at. That's where I needed it.
Well, anybody in a racing series, they'll take them wherever they can get them. I know these are probably your best chances. I know places like this, even Chicagoland, we know you run very well at. But super speedways, you've always been lights out there. It's really good to see you take the checkered flag here tonight, Vince. Was there any strategies that were planned coming into tonight that maybe went out the window at any point? I know we ran this race pretty much caution-free with the exception of the stage.
We kind of figured it was going to go that way for the most part. I didn't think we'd have a lot of cautions anyway. I think most of the guys that are in here are used to running with each other, so I knew it was going to be relatively clean. I think the only thing I was probably concerned with was the fall off on the tires to see if we had guys start fading up from the bottom, but everybody managed to kind of stay within their lanes for the most part. as far as the fuel, I think we kind of yo-yoed back and forth on that last pit stop as to how much we wanted to take and spend in the pits, try to make up that gap. Fortunately, it was a good decision. I ended up with 1.3 gallons, so thank God Zach got us to stick to our guns with 5.1 top off.
Well, it worked out. You take the checkered flag here in the end, and we look forward to next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're back on the big track, not worrying about any of that road course stuff. How do you feel about your chances out there? I know it kind of runs like a square Pocono.
Yeah, I just ran a couple races last week or the week before on the officials with it. It's hit or miss. I mean, in this car, you got to be patient and save the tires. That's the key, especially at Indianapolis. You got to find your braking points and your throttle points and just be conservative with it and smooth it out and try to oval it out as much as you humanly possibly can.
Well, with that said, certainly looking forward to it. It's fun to watch races out of the big track in Indianapolis. Should be a good one for sure. Again, congratulations, Vince, on taking the checkered flag here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
First and foremost, you know how this works. My wife, Nikki, my biggest supporter, HBR TV supporter, Holler Boys, the whole iRacing leagues. Track Bar Media, my main sponsor, Brian Rose. I also want to throw congratulations out there, Dodson, on his pending nuptials and the little one coming on the way. HBR TV, obviously, Steve, you do a bang job every single time. My teammates, Brian Rose, Zach Millett, Brian Torsha, Alfie Charon, who I'm forgetting. Shoot, they've got so many of them now. I can't remember all of them.
Just say the HBR crew and call it good, because there's too many.
There we go. Yeah, it's got to be a horde. But my granddaughters, Kira, Raylyn, and Amari, my kids, obviously, my mom and my dad, all my kids and stuff, everybody in here in the league. This is a good league, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for the help for the guys that helped me tonight.
Well, Vince, I'm glad you bring up Eric Dodson, because he's been absent from the race car and the booth for quite some time. And look what happens. You leave the booth, you leave the race car, and all of a sudden you got a kid on the way and you're getting hitched.
Yeah, see, you got to have this distraction or you end up with more kids.
Vince, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Vincent Short, your race winner here at Talladega Superspeedway. Next, we're going to talk to Derek Welch, our runner-up in the field filler role, but almost had this one in the bag. Derek Welch and Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Derek, congratulations, man. First and foremost, as we said, thanks for coming over and running here tonight. Really thought you had a win in the bag here tonight, but a second-place finish. Walk us through the closing laps and then the contact late with Michael Tucker.
I was gonna stay behind Vincent and seen the rest of the field, pretty much get knocked out. And I said, well, I'm about to race Vincent for a win here. So I don't really know what happened. Tucker came up in me, almost put me in the wall. I don't know. I haven't really watched the replay yet, but I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. I'm glad Vincent got the win. That's why I was over here. My main goal was, help one of the HBR guys out. And second place, first race over here. I can't complain.
Well, I know you usually are a little more leisurely on your Sunday nights, but is there a chance we see you run at Indy next week?
Indy next week. I might. I don't know. I like my Sundays laid back drinking beer. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm
not looking for a commitment, Derek. We're just thinking maybe. You could say maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, if y'all need the cars, I'll be here.
Fair enough. All right, Derek. Well, again, congratulations again. Thanks for coming over and running a second place finish. Not too shabby. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Thank Noble. I signed up for this league beginning of the season, but I just haven't had the time. I run so many leads, and I just found Sunday to be my relaxing day and working 6 days a week. But thanks Noble. They helped me in my leads a lot. All my sponsors, DEP Graphics, Track Bar Media, Sim Gear Central, Davison Builders. If I'm missing any, I'm sorry. And None Thumbs Gaming. And you, Steve, you do an excellent job like always.
All right, Derek. Well, again, thanks for talking to us, man. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Derek Welch, your runner-up here at Talladega. We're going to talk to Drew Prail next. Pull him up into the HBR TV booth. Drew, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got us?
Yeah, how's it going, Steve?
It's going well, Drew. Nice job. Congratulations. A top 3 finish here at Talladega Superspeedway. I wouldn't even call it just dumb luck. You had a good run out there. You were patient, took care of the stuff. Walk us through your race and those closing laps.
We were just trying to kind of stay together. We knew that we weren't really going to catch them unless they wrecked, and all of a sudden we came out of 2 and there's a minefield. And good for Joe on getting us through it. Got to the front stretch, getting to the tri-oval. He opened the door. I slid underneath. I guess I got a third. I was kind of happy with that since I was in the playoffs and I needed a good showing.
Well, it works out. That's a plus for sure. Of course, we roll into Indianapolis next week on the oval, on the big track. Definitely a much different style of racing. I mean, some would even liken it to road course racing with all left turns or a rectangular Pocono. But what's your take on Indy next week, and how do you feel about your chances at a strong finish?
I really like Indy, especially with these cars, because you don't have to use the brakes as much. You kind of just got to glide in and just use a little bit of right rear, not a lot. If you overuse it, you're not going to be happy later in a run. Gets really slick. But I think we should be able to pull out a good top 5 to top 10.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. Hopefully that comes to fruition. Again, Drew, congratulations on a solid top 3 finish here at Talladega. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I want to thank you for, always hosting these, or not hosting, but broadcasting, and all the HPR guys are a great bunch. HXI, Tucker, WJM Motorsports, who I've been working with for about last year and a half. Other than that, not much.
Speaking of that, have him reach out to me when you get a chance.
All right, I'll let Bill know.
All right, Drew, congratulations, man. A strong run, of course, a top 3 finish. Look forward to it next week, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep, have a good one.
Drew Prale, your third place finisher here at Talladega Superspeedway. That's going to do it for our interview portion of tonight's race. We'll take a look at the race results. Of course, we talked to Vince Short, Derek Welch, and Drew Prale. Shane Haas with a 4th place finish. Joe Tucker was 5th. Matt Sisler of P6. Alfie Charon Jr. came home in the 7th spot. Brian McCann was 8th. Ken Couch finished 9th. Brandon Mefford 10th. Mark Truxell 11th. Neil Quick, after a pit road speeding penalty, finished 12th. Zach Millett 13th. Chris Elliott 14th. Michael Tucker 15th. Eddie Rose was 16th. And Chris Goins, battling the power outage and weather demons tonight, still showed up, still turned the laps as best he could. Finishes 17th, 34 laps down. Short field here tonight. Nevertheless, we'll try to bump those numbers up next week for Indianapolis. I got to thank you guys all for tuning into the broadcast here tonight. We certainly do appreciate that. It was a blast. Talladega Superspeedway, certainly one for great finishes. We certainly had that here, but didn't really have the big one to speak of. Not really enough cars for that to happen, but either way, we had a good time. That's all that matters. Thank you guys for being in the stream chat. As busy as it was, you wouldn't have known it was as short a field as it was, but we do appreciate that. Thanks for coming out. Like the stream if you haven't already done so, and don't forget to tune in. We've got a full race season starting off tomorrow night in the IROC Challenge Series. Going to be late model stocks, the IROC Challenge Series switching to, so tune in tomorrow evening. I got to double check it, but I think around 9 p.m. in the East or so, we should be live. That link will be posted on the website, hbrtv1.com. Just click the live tab, and you will be able to find that information there. So tune in for it. Then we've got Tuesday nights. Actually, no, I'll be traveling, so I won't be available for that. But nonetheless, tune in. I think AAA Broadcasting may have the Numb Thumbs Racing League season finale in the trucks. Then we're back here Wednesday for Numb Thumbs Racing Late Model Stocks. Thursday, Lone Star Racing Cup Series. Then, of course, we are back here on Sunday evening for the Noble Bowl Racing Series out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, congratulating Vincent Short on a race win here at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.
Was the summer before the real world started, and the deal was we would get to go if we cleaned it up and got it running. That is old Winnebago, and winging a prayer down a 65, 5 best friends on 4-ball tires. I can still see Billy smiling when we finally made it to Talladega. Boys raced the whiskey and gold glass. Now here's to turning up, slowing down in cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing and thinking as that checkered flag Talladega. Like a stone, time rolls on. You can't hit pause, that's just a deal. Most days in life don't stand out, but life's about those days that we all like. Rockin' rando, getting rowdy, shooting Roman candles at the man in the moon, till the Alabama sun was breaking. Over Talladega, boys raised up, a whiskey in your glass. Here's to turn it up, slowing down, and cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing, and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. Sure like to stay. Talladega. October, I think about us shoulder to shoulder, like those cars my thoughts roll over and over and over in my mind. Tonight I'm in Talladega, boys raised up, a whiskey in your glass. Here's to turn it up, slowing down, and cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing, and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. I sure would like to stay. Talladega.
They'll lay off lonesome songs tonight, and we'll never